Hello everyone, you're listening to the Savvy Salon Professional. I'm Micah, and I empower hairstylists and salon owners by giving advice on how to grow their business, along with tips and tricks on how to save time and make more money doing what you guys love to do. If you'd like to download the audio version of this podcast, or any other podcast for that matter, you can find them on salonhelpwanted.com, iTunes, Google Play Music, and on Stitcher. I would also like to thank salonhelpwanted.com. Without them hosting our podcasts, we would not be able to bring you the Savvy Salon Professional. So thank you very much to salonhelpwanted.com. If you're watching the live podcast, as you can see, our live viewer chat is open. Please feel free to ask any questions or leave a comment, and we will get back to you during the show. And if you're catching this on the replay and you can't leave a comment or a question that you have, you can always visit salonhelpwanted.com and find our podcast episode and leave a comment, and we will answer. So this week's podcast is all about internet marketing. Sounds scary, right? But really, it's probably the best way to get yourself out there and market yourself nowadays. Now, I know what you're saying. The internet's so big and so vast. How am I going to find the people I want? Well, that's what we're going to kind of go over. We're going to be going over websites, social media, and review sites, how they kind of all interconnect, and how to set them up and keep them going with about 3 to 4 hours a month of actual work building everything up after you have them set up. So for the last 5 years, the only marketing that I've done for my salons is internet marketing. Now, don't get me wrong, I do other things for the community. We do volunteer work and stuff like that, and that's a great way to get yourself out there. But when I want the masses to see who I am and who our salon is and who we are as a group, I found that internet marketing gets me a better ROI, or return on my investment, meaning I actually see profit on the money that I'm spending in advertising, which you all should as well. But that, like I said, that's my only source of marketing, and I use that to get my target audience that I'm really looking for less of an investment as I would by throwing a broad net out there and seeing what I catch. For example, I could run an ad on my local radio station, and it's going to cost me probably about $1,000 a month for some really good prime spots. We're talking about like your morning shows, your drive home shows, and maybe even your lunch shows when people are leaving for their lunch break. So those are going to be prime spots, and they're going to cost more. So in your area, it could cost you a little bit more, it could cost you a little bit less, but when you're casting that wide range out for however many miles that radio signal is traveling, you're going to get thousands of people who hear your ad and will remember that ad, because they're going to hear it probably at least 6 times a month, maybe a little bit more, which is great because you want to get your message out to your clients and have them remember it. It's going to take them 3 times seeing your ad just to kind of keep it in their mind and say, oh, okay, I want to check this place out. So those numbers are great for the radio, but when you break it down, your target client is only going to live within a 5-mile radius of your salon, or they're going to work in a 5-mile radius of your salon. So when you're casting that broad net, and you're only going to get a few people in from that because that's how many people are going to be in that area. Now, don't get me wrong, you might find somebody come in and say, oh, I drove 40 miles just to get my hair cut or colored, and that's all good and great, but that's not going to be the main source of your income coming in. So your clients are actually only going to live or work within a 5-mile radius of you. So you really don't want to throw that money away in advertising like that as compared to doing internet marketing, because if you do it right, it's not going to cost you a fortune. In fact, that for 3 salons, I spend about, on average, $1,500 a month in advertising and giveaways. And I see a 55 to 75% return on my investment, depending on, what time of year it is. Because as some of you may know, I live in Southwest Florida. And in Southwest Florida, from January to April, our population will almost triple. In fact, I think it comes close to tripling now. When I first moved to Florida, it was about double. So you have more and more people wanting to escape the cold from the north whenever it snows. So they come down to sunny Florida. So that's why I see higher returns during that time of year than I do other times of the year. But 55% return on my investment is nothing to scoff about. That's actually very impressive. And you guys can see this too. It just takes a little bit of work in the beginning, but once you get everything going, it's like just stoking a fire, and every once in a while you got to throw a log on. In this case, you're going to spend about, maybe 4 hours every month just kind of going through and doing the necessary things to keep it going smooth. And it doesn't matter what size town you live in or if your town has a season or not. It's all about setting up the right kind of profiles and the right kind of advertising to get that client that you want to come in. Looks like we're going to have to take a short break now, but when we come back, we're going to start talking about reputation marketing, review sites, websites, and social media and how they interlink. So stick around and we will see you when we come back. I don't know about you guys out there, but I'm a pretty avid reader, and I read about 2 books a week, and my kids are starting to get to that age where they're like, please read to us, Daddy, please read to us. So I've been perusing my Kindle Unlimited app to find books for them and for myself, and I ran across this book by Brett Brandon, and it's called When Dinosaurs Come Alive. So I was like, okay, let's download it. So I downloaded it off my Kindle Unlimited app, and I read it to them, and I've been reading it to them every night for the last 2 weeks. I actually ended up having to buy this book so I could get it out of my unlimited carousel so I could keep reading it to them every night. It's an amazing kids book. You can find it on Kindle, on Amazon. They have it in, I believe, paperback and Kindle Unlimited. But check it out, When Dinosaurs Come Alive by Brett Brandon.
I got many secrets under my tongue, the best ones slipping away, but not on deaf ears. Got a feeling like I'm centuries old. The hours, they turn into minutes, they turn into years.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You're listening to the Savvy Salon Professional. My name's Micah, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about internet marketing today. I almost forgot what we were talking about today. But now we're talking about internet marketing. We're going to start going over review sites and reputation marketing. We're going to talk about websites. We're going to talk about social media. So let's jump into review sites and why they are so important to the building blocks of internet marketing. But before I forget, our live viewer chat room is open, so make sure if you have any questions or comments to leave them, and we will get back to you before the end of today's podcast. All right, let's start talking about review sites and why they're so important. If you actually take and put your structure of your marketing, your internet marketing, in a triangle, reputation marketing or review sites are going to be your base, so they're going to be on that bottom layer. But why are review sites so important? What's the first thing that you do when you want to try a new restaurant or a new store opens or something like that? You go to Yelp or Google and read the reviews and make your decision based on that if you want to move forward. In the salon industry, it's the same concept. When someone's looking for a new hairstylist, they may see you on a paid ad or something like that, or somewhere else on the internet, and they're going to want to check you out. So they're going to Google your salon, or if you're a individual stylist, they're going to Google, your information, and they're going to see how many reviews you have, your hours, your cost and all that. But the main concern they're looking at is going to be the cost and the reviews. Someone is probably going to go to someone with, 30 5-star reviews, a couple of 4-star reviews, and a 3-star review before they're going to go to someone with 3 or 4 5-star reviews. So if you haven't already set up your Google My Business, it's a really good idea to do that. And I will link a description or put a link in the description on where to go to do that. Also, you want to do that with Yelp too, so I'm going to leave both links in the description if you haven't already done so. And when you do that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up your profile. And it's going to ask you for, like any other social media, a photo for a cover photo. And on that, what you want to do is, if you're a business, you want to put your logo, and if you're an individual, you're going to want to put a picture of your face. But you want to make sure that you look good in this picture, because that's the first thing that people are going to see. And first impressions are very, very important in this business. So make sure you look your best for your profile photo. Then it's going to ask you for a cover photo. And what I would do there is I would either put a picture of the outside of your business, or something you've had made that has models that you have done as your cover photo. I would do one of those two things. The reason that you would want to put a photo of your business front is so when they're looking at that, they have something to relate to as to where you're located. And then the reason for the models is because it's going to show off your work. Then you're going to want to go in, excuse me, and you're going to want to put, if you do the, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. But if you, after you put your profile picture and your cover photo up, then it's going to ask you to put more photos. This is when you would put photos of, let's say, your interior, how the inside of your salon looks, pictures of your work. If you're a salon, pictures of your team and your staff. If you're an independent stylist, you want to put a couple fun photos of you working. Have one of your neighboring stylists just take a couple photos of you working. Make sure you ask permission from your client, but post those. That's stuff that people want to see. So then next you're going to want to put in your pricing. They actually have a thing where you can actually put your service pricing down. If you do that, you want to do it everywhere. So make sure that if you put your pricing down, which I suggest, but you don't have to. But if you do, make sure that not only your pricing, but your hours and everything are exactly the same on every review site, every social media site, and make sure it's the same as on your website. That way there's never any confusion about pricing, about hours, about anything that you might have come up. So write it all out, save it to a Word file, and then just copy paste everything throughout your whole entire marketing plan. And then the other big question I get is, well, how do I get reviews if I haven't had any before, or I haven't gotten any good ones? So my answer to this, and this is what I tell everybody, I was like, people generally won't do something for you unless you do something for them. It's kind of a quid pro quo aspect of life. So what I have found that works really good for me and my team members is if we ask them, if you liked your service, could you please leave a good review for us? And we leave it at that. And then before the checkout, we will remind them again, but we add something else. We say, again, if you liked what I did, please go to Google or Yelp and leave us a good review. And when you do, uh, our moderator or I'll see it. And the next time you come in, you can either get a free service or a free product. And so they like that, and they're like, okay, I'll definitely do that. So then you start building your reviews. And when it comes to the free product or the free service, what you want to do there is you want to get them hooked on another service. So you want to give them a free service that they don't normally get. Say, for instance, you notice their eyebrows are a little woolly bully, and they need to be trimmed up and waxed and arched and shaped. So you can say, well, let's do a free eyebrow wax today. And she'll be like, okay, because it's free for the most part. She's going to be okay. Let's do it. There are some women out there who don't want their eyebrows touched. But then you can just offer them another free service. It's relatively inexpensive. Or have a set service that you're going to offer. But I prefer using the one that they don't usually get but need. Then that way you're building your income. Same way goes with the products. If they start buying products from you and there's a product they really need, but they're kind of on the fence about it. They're like, do I really need it, or are they just trying to sell me some more product? Give that product away for free. Let her try it. Let him try it. And then the next time they come back, see how they like it. And if they like it, boom, you just add it to your ticket. And then also, I would actually wait probably about the second, maybe the third time this client comes in, if it's a new client, because I want to make sure that they're actually happy with what I do and are actually going to give me a good review. Now, when I first started this out, all my existing clientele I ask. And what I noticed after I asked all my clients this and I started getting good reviews, and a lot of them, I noticed that Google, when I would search for my salon on Google Maps, because I had such a high rating and a lot of reviews, they started to slowly bump me up to the first page. So eventually, my salon was on the first page of Google because of all the good reviews, because Google saw that as a trusted source. So that's why reputation marketing is so important, or review sites are so important, because what they do is it validates you as a stylist before your client even gets to know you or even meet you. So all these reviews that people are saying about you, oh, this is the best place to go to get highlights, this is the best hairstylist in town, that's actually giving you really good value to that potential client before they've ever even met you. So on a quick tangent, we talked about photos a little earlier, and I want to stress some important things about photos in Google. So when you post photos on either social media or review sites, even your website, if you have one, what you want to do is you want to rename those photos, especially if you took them on your cell phone, because that photo name is going to be 100654-395-469er. Yes, I threw a niner in there for you Tommy Boy fans. But anyway, Google's not going to recognize that as anything. And what you want to do is, if you have an Android phone, you want to go into your photo, click settings, and click rename. And you want to rename that photo to something that's searchable on Google, like best hairstylist in your city. Like, for example, I would put something like best barber in Tampa, Florida, or something to that extent, hair salon in Tampa, Florida. Something that's going to be searchable by Google, because a lot of customers not only search Google's listing site for stylists and hair salons, they also look at images. And so if you put something in there that Google will search, when they type in, best hairstylist in Florida, they're going to pop up with your photos. So because that's going to happen, what you're going to want to do is get a watermark app. And you can find those on the Play Store and on the Android store. Oh, and by the way, when you rename your photos on Apple's, I'm not 100% sure how to do that, so you'll want to do some research yourself on that. You might have to just get an app to do that, but I know you can't just go into your settings and rename it, or as of the last iOS update. So, so back to the watermarks. What that does is that tells that client who's looking for you that this is actually truly your work. You're not stealing it from somebody. This is who you are. So your watermark needs to be something like your logo and maybe your phone number. That way, when they see it on a Google search, not only are they like, oh, I wonder if this person really is near me or in my city, but if you put your phone number on there, and they see the area code is the same, they're going to click that, and that's either going to go A, to your website, or B, to your social media. Because when you fill in that part that says website on your review sites, that's going to direct them directly to your website, which will directly lead them to your salon where they can book online or do however they do. But what you want to do is, if you don't have a website, make sure you use your social media site as your website there, because when they click website, it's going to take you to their or to your Facebook, to your Twitter. I would prefer Facebook, and that's just me, because Facebook is just all around a good platform to highlight your business and see photos of your work. And so so there's nothing wrong with using any of the other sites, but I prefer Facebook if I didn't have a website. So moving on, we're going to then now talk about social media, and where that stacks up on this pyramid is the next level. Now, people who go to review sites and click your website aren't necessarily going to see your social media or be a part of it yet, but that's fine, because if they find you on social media, then they still have that option to click on your website. Or if you don't have a website, they'll have all your information there that they can contact you, possibly request an appointment online, however you have that set up. But if you don't have a website, that's actually a very important thing to have nowadays. And I would just like to give a shout out to my friend Jack, who runs Torchwood Web Design, and they specialize in salon websites for individuals and salons. They have great introductory packages and great monthly packages that are very reasonably priced for stylists and salon owners. And because Jack comes from the industry, he's not trying to make money off building websites for you guys. He's trying to get you more clients so you make more money. So his prices are very, very reasonable compared to everything on the market you will ever find. So you can check him out. I will definitely be leaving a link in the description on how to get a hold of Jack to check out his pricing and his website designs that he does. He actually designed our Savvy Salon Professional podcast website. So go ahead and check that out. www.salonhelpwanted.com. Click the podcast, and you can check out our podcast website that he designed for us. But anyway, we're going back on to social media. You want to be on the social media that your clientele is on, because there's no use in wasting the time and the effort to be somewhere where your clients aren't. So you definitely need to determine what your overall client goal is, who they are, and we're going to go with that in another podcast. We're going to talk about um, determining who your core client is and how to market to that core client and what you need to know about them. Um, but so, like for instance, my salons cater to all age groups because I have all age groups of stylists working in my salons, and they all kind of interweave and work together because we're still trying to get a certain clientele type, no matter the age. Um, so my younger stylists are still getting that clientele that they want, and the older stylists are getting the clientele that they want, and it works really good. So we're on actually all facets of social media. Now, when you do your social media setups, you want to make sure that you're not using a personal page. That actually gets to be a real hassle. You're gonna have people who are like, I want to check out your stuff, but I don't want to have to friends request you to do that. So it's much easier just to make yourself a business page, and it's really easy. You just go down to create a page on Facebook and type in everything. Like I said, you'll already have your template from your review sites. You'll just copy paste everything. Um, and then when you get into the About Me and the profile, this is a really important thing. And we're going to slightly delve into this today, but next week's podcast is going to talk about building an outward facing profile. So, an outward facing profile is just that. It's a profile that screams, I can help you. This is what I can do for you. I've seen so many different profiles and different stylist pages where they talk about me. My prices are this. I can do this. I'm the best at this. I went to school for this. And it really doesn't mean anything to your client. So instead of making an inward profile like that, you want to make an outward profile. And by that, you want to say, this is who I am. This is what I can do for you. This is how I can help you. And make it all about that client and what you can really do for them. Funny story, I went to a conference in a class a few months back, and they use this really cool analogy about being in an elevator. And there was a person in the elevator, and 3 hairstylists were in the elevator with him. This person made the comment that, oh, I really need my hair done. Well, the first stylist says, oh, come see me. I do the best work and I have the best prices in town. I guarantee you I'll beat everybody's prices. And the next stylist is, no, pick me. I do better work than anybody else. I'll even beat their prices. And essentially what you're ending up doing is pricing yourself out of business when you say stuff like that. But the third stylist said, I happen to like to work on a hair texture that you have. I can offer you fast, friendly service and be able to take care of all your hair needs. Why don't you come see me this Tuesday at 11 o'clock? Does that work for you? I have later appointments in the afternoon if it doesn't. And that client's going to say, they just took care, they just said they could take care of my problems. One being timely service, one being a friendly environment. Never once did they say, I'm going to beat your price. Never once did they say, I'm the best in town. Because there's 100 other hairstylists in town that are possibly better than you. So you never want to boast like that and say, well, my prices are the best in town. I'm the best hairstylist in town. Because then you're really putting a target on yourself. So when you don't meet their expectations, it's really hurting you. But if you don't, and you prove to your client that you can actually do, what they want, and you never once boast about it, you're actually going to see a higher return in that client, and you're also going to see them bring in more and more clients for you. But back to the social media sites. um, I find a lot of my personal business comes from LinkedIn. The overall salon business comes from all different social media sites: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. And you're like, oh my God, how do you run all those social medias, and what do you put on them, and how often do you post? And those are all great questions that I get all the time. And I say, you know what? I literally spend about 5 hours a month. It's like an hour and a half or less a day or a week doing my social media posts. And I use a program that automatically posts stuff for you, called Hootsuite, and I really love that. There's others out there, but that eliminates a lot of my social media problems with, oh, I got to stop what I'm doing and post something. Hold on. Or you just forget, or you just don't have time. But if you actually can sit down, an hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes out of your day to post everything for the week, then throughout the week, just have a couple spontaneous posts in there, and go from there. But when it comes to posting stuff, it's, what do I post? How often do I post? So we post about 4 or 5 times a day. We'll post in the morning when we open. And actually what we do is, at the salon, is we let everybody know who's working that day in the salon. Because sometimes your customers want to come in, they drive all the way there because they don't want to call, because they think, oh, Sally's going to be here today. I know she is. She never takes the day off, or she's never off on Thursdays. And so she doesn't call, and she gets there, and Sally's not there, and then your client's all, oh man, drove all the way out here for nothing. So yeah, we like to post at the beginning of the day who's working that day and how long when their hours are. All my stylists do have set schedules, so it's really super easy to do that. And then throughout the day, I'll post something that my clients can relate to. I stay away from religion. I stay away from political. I stay away from all that. I have a lot of cat and animal fans, so I'll post cute little animal videos. Or if I see a video floating around that's actually kind of funny or spontaneous, or weird, something that people are actually going to enjoy watching, and that'll give them a reason to keep coming back um, to your channel and to your social media too, to see what's going on. And that way they can be updated on new products, new services, whatever you're going to offer. So then on that triangle, you have your website, and then finally your salon. So websites, that's going to be what really hooks that client. And that's going to be what's going to tell them, oh, do I want to go in, or do I want to find somebody else? Now, you don't have to have an extravagant website. You really, really don't. It just has to be updated regularly, new pictures, new stuff like that. We do a blog on ours. We do 2 blogs a week. And it's stuff that will, catch our clientele's attention and keeps them coming back to our website. And that's really the ultimate goal, is you want to keep them coming back to your website, keep them seeing new things, and that way they ask about stuff when they come in, and it keeps us relevant in their minds, because sometimes clients forget, oh, I need a haircut. In fact, I haven't had a haircut in 2 months because it's just been super busy. And so I finally stopped, and I was like, hey, can you cut my hair real quick? And they're like, yeah. Now, I know I'm always in that salon, so I always remember, oh, I'm in a salon, I need my haircut, but I just get too busy. But your clients don't. They don't remember, when the last time they got their haircut was. Um, so that's why pre-booking is always a good thing. And if you don't pre-book, keep a little ledger on when people came in last. So in about 4 weeks, you could send them a reminder. Hey, it's been about 4 to 6 weeks since you've been in. It's almost time for your new service or your next service. Um, but there's some really key components that you want on your website, and you want your website to kind of like be a funnel. And actually, in the broad scheme of things, everything that we've talked about is a funnel, because if you take that pyramid and put it upside down, you're funneling them from your Google, your Yelp, your Angie's List, your weddings, whatever review sites you're going to use or your salon's going to use. You're funneling them down, and yeah, you might skip from the review site straight to your website, but they're also going to hit the social media and then flow right into your website and then eventually flow into your salon. So when they hit that website, there's some key things that you want to have on there. And it doesn't matter if you're a salon owner or a private individual, you still need to have a page that's your bio page. And you want that to be an outward bio where it talks about what you can do for them, how you can help your clients. You want a gallery, which can be right in your bio as well. But you want a gallery of your work. You want to make sure that you have a gallery of your work. And if you use those pictures with the names in them that have been renamed to, whatever, best hairstylist, best colorist, etc., 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 you're already starting to get searchable on Google. Then you want to have a pricing page. You want people to know your prices, because the one big thing that clients hate, and they will actually leave a salon or a stylist, is if they keep getting charged this different prices for the same thing. Many, many, many booth renters that I know will unfortunately do that. They'll change the prices of their service depending on what their needs are that day. Do they need to pay rent? Do they need to pay their electric bill? Well, clients, after a couple times, will see that. They'll be like, well, why'd I pay $40 for a haircut one day and $35 the next time? And so you want to have a set price list on there. And it's okay on color stuff to put, a base price and plus and up plus. If you're a salon and you have levels, you want to put those level prices on there. And you want to have an explanation on why you have them. Then your next one is you want to have something that keeps that client on that page or on your website. So on your home page, you're going to want to have that hook we talked about. Like mine is, we're a luxury salon with affordable price, or at affordable rates. Is I think exactly how it's set up on the website, luxury without the cost, or luxury without the something like that. I'll have to go back and look. But then it also talks about, we offer damage-free hair color, we offer fast, friendly service, and we offer online booking. So right there, I got my client hooked. They're like, okay, so they offer they provide fast, timely service. They're a friendly atmosphere, and also do damage-free hair color. And we actually use a couple different things in our salons. We use Olaplex, and we use the Brazilian Blowout B3. Some stylists like the Olaplex, some stylists like the B3, but we use that in all our colors. And it really works great. But so then also you want to have a place where they can book online or at least send you a booking request. Those are your major components of your website. And what you want to do is you want to have that website funneled from like the home page down to your pricing, down to your bio, down to your book online. And then, your blog is definitely going to be on, on that front page, because that way they click on that, and then you can actually make links in your blog to book online. So no matter what you're doing, you're funneling everything down to where they can actually book an appointment. And if you don't do the book online thing, you really need to look into that. It's very, very popular. I have found that most clients who book online, they do it between the hours that we're closed. So anytime from 7 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock in the morning. And I've had people book appointments for the afternoon that day at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've also had clients that I can see what times they book, and they're booking at like midnight, 1 o'clock before they go to bed, or they're like, oh, they just remembered I need a hair appointment. And when you can do the booking online, they're more apt to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in for my hair appointment. Whereas if you just book a appointment request, where they'll have to get that request, have to submit, and say, yes, I have this opening, they're less likely to do that, or they're going to get confused and think that that's actually an appointment. And they'll show up, and if you don't have accommodations for them at that time, they're going to be like, oh man, and it's their fault, but it's also yours for explaining how that system works if you have it. So, but I do suggest actually doing the online, full online booking system. But once they get to your website and you have your photos on there and everything like that, that's pretty much the final step. They're going to make that decision and be like, oh, I definitely want to go see this person. That is all the time we have for today's podcast. I hope to see you guys next week. We're going to be talking about inward and outward profiles and how to change your social media profiles, your review site profiles, and even your about me's on your bios on your websites, on how to turn those into outward facing profiles so they attract more clients for you. My name's Micah. Until next time, keep doing what you guys love and loving what you guys do. Have a